All right, ever find yourself glued to an animated movie like, whoa, how'd they do that?
It's kind of magic, right?
Totally. So we're diving deep into how that magic happens, specifically the role of an animation layout artist.
The unsung heroes of animation, some might say.
For sure. And we're going beyond the surface here, folks. We want to know what really makes this job tick.
Right, because just saying they work on animated films is like saying chefs make food. Way too vague.
Exactly. We're digging into the nitty-gritty, the skills, the challenges, the unexpected bits that make this career path unique.
And we're lucky enough to have some awesome resources to guide us.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in. The RoleCatcher definition, for example, describes an animation layout artist as, get this, a creative professional who bridges the gap between 2D storyboard and 3D animation.
Bridges the gap. I like that. It's that crucial link between the initial vision, those first sketches, and the final moving product.
And it's not just about drawing, right? They're working directly with, like, the camera team, the director, the whole shebang.
It's way more technical and collaborative than people realize.
So imagine this. You got your storyboard. It's all 2D, flat, right?
Yeah.
But the director wants this scene to feel epic, huge, like the character's standing at the top of the world.
And the animation layout artist takes that direction and figures out how to make it happen visually. What's the camera angle? Do we need a wide shot to emphasize the scale or a close-up to capture the character's emotions?
Suddenly, you're not just drawing. You're shaping how the viewer experiences the entire story.
Exactly, and that's a huge part of what they do, controlling the pacing, the mood, the emotional impact of every single shot. In fact, the RoleCatcher guide talks about creating a seamless and engaging viewer experience.
Which makes perfect sense. They're basically choreographing your eye as the viewer, guiding you through the story with each camera move, each lighting choice.
And it all comes down to understanding how those choices impact the audience, how they make you feel.
So it's more than just technical skills. You need that storytelling sense, that ability to connect with an audience emotionally.
100%. A good animation layout artist is a storyteller at heart.
Okay, so we've talked about the creative side, but what's it actually like to be an animation layout artist, like day to day?
Right, because it's not all just rainbows and animated unicorns, right?
Definitely not. And the RoleCatcher guide gives us a peek behind the curtain into the work environment. And it sounds like, well, it can vary a lot, T.
That's putting it mildly. I mean, you've got your typical studios, big animation houses, those kinds of offices for sure.
Makes sense. Got to have somewhere for all those computers and animators to hang out, right?
Totally. But the source also emphasizes, especially these days, the freelance side of things is huge.
Which reminds me, we were looking at those pros and cons earlier. Potential for collaboration sounds awesome, but right alongside it, potential for job instability.
Yeah, welcome to the wild world of animation. It's project-based, so you could be on a feature film 1 minute, then freelancing on a commercial the next.
Talk about a roller coaster ride. Though I guess for some people, that's exciting. Keeps things fresh.
Absolutely. This kind of career path, it's perfect if you thrive on variety, not the same old routine every day. You're always learning new software, adapting to new teams, new projects.
So being comfortable with uncertainty is a must. But hey, that often comes with creative freedom, right? Which brings us to the career progression laid out in the source. They've got it broken down into 4 stages: entry-level, junior artist, mid-level, and then senior.
Yeah, it's like leveling up in a video game, only instead of gaining more health points, you're gaining more responsibility, more creative control.
Love it. So at the very beginning, entry-level, what's that really look like?
Think of it as your apprenticeship. You're there to learn, to soak it all in. You're assisting the more experienced folks, the camera team, the director, really getting a feel for how things work in the trenches.
So even from day one, it's all about collaboration, being part of a team.
100%. And then as you move into that junior artist role, you start taking on more responsibility, actually translating those 2D storyboards into 3D environments. That's where your own creativity starts to shine.
Okay, so you're starting to put your own stamp on things. But then comes mid-level. That sounds like a whole different ballgame.
It is. This is where you really start to lead. The source even mentions things like mentoring and guiding junior animation layout artists. You're not just responsible for your own work anymore, you're helping to shape the next generation.
So you're leading, you're mentoring, you're basically becoming the Jedi Master of animation layout.
Haha, I love that analogy. And then, of course, we reach the peak senior animation layout artist. This is like the top of the mountain.
So what's it like up there in the rarefied air, commanding those breathtaking vistas of animation?
It's a bit of everything. You might be leading entire sequences, making those big picture creative decisions, overseeing the quality of the work, maybe even diving into some research and development.
So there's really potential for growth in this field to really carve out your own niche.
Yeah.
You start as an assistant, learning the ropes, and you can end up leading the charge, influencing the future of animation. That's pretty inspiring. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the skills you need. The RoleCatcher guide has this whole section on functions and core abilities, and honestly, some of this stuff surprised me.
Yeah, it's easy to think, oh, animation, I just need to know Maya or Blender, but it goes way deeper than that.
Tell me about it. Like active listening. That's at 57% importance. That's huge. And they don't just mention it, they emphasize taking time to understand the points being made.
It's crucial because you're constantly getting feedback from all sides. The director might have notes on the camera angle, the animator wants to tweak a character's movement. You got to be able to listen to everyone, process it all, and then translate that into the work.
So it's like being a conductor, making sure every instrument in the orchestra is playing in harmony. And not just listening, but making judgment calls too, right? Judgment and decision-making, that's right up there with the technical skills at 54%.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're not just following a checklist. You're constantly making creative choices on the fly that affect the entire project.
So you're telling me this job isn't just for tech-savvy artists, it's for creative problem solvers, people who can think on their feet and adapt to anything.
Absolutely. You can have all the technical skills in the world, but if you can't communicate, collaborate, and make those tough decisions when it counts, you're not going to make it.
So you've got the skills, you're a master communicator, you're down for the animation roller coaster. But how do you actually break in? Because the RoleCatcher guide, they don't sugarcoat it. High competition is right up there in the cons.
It's true. This industry, it's not for the faint of heart. But that's where a platform like RoleCatcher, that's where they come in. They've got a ton of advice on like really tailoring your resume, your CV for each specific job.
Makes sense. You wouldn't show up to a rock band audition with a violin, right?
Yeah.
Got to bring the right instrument, the right skills.
Exactly. And their RoleCatcher.capture plugin, that's a game changer. You know how you're always scrolling like a million tabs open trying to find those animation gigs?
Ugh, don't even remind me. My browser history is a mess.
Right. Well, this plugin, it lets you save job postings from anywhere online all in one place. So it's like your own personal curated job board.
Okay, so no more getting lost in the internet abyss. But it's more than just saving links, right?
Oh, yeah, way more. Once you've saved a job, the platform helps you break it down, figure out the exact skills, the keywords those employers are really after.
So it's not just about having the skills, it's about being able to really showcase them. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm the perfect fit for this project.
You got it. And get this, they even have interview prep stuff, like a whole library of potential interview questions specific to animation.
Oh, so you can practice your answers? Get comfortable talking about your work?
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
It's huge. But it gets even cooler. They have, get this, AI-powered feedback on your responses. So you can actually practice your answers and get advice from, like, artificial intelligence.
Whoa, AI interview coaches.
Yeah.
That feels so futuristic. It's wild to see how much technology is changing everything, from the software we use to make these incredible animations to now the tools that help aspiring artists actually get their foot in the door.
And that's what makes this field so exciting. It's always evolving, always something new to learn, new challenges to conquer, new ways to bring those characters and stories to life.
For anyone out there who feels that pull, that magic of animation, who dreams of building those worlds, this deep dive, we've really gone deep on what it takes to be an animation layout artist.
It's a unique blend, that's for sure. You need the artistic talent, the technical chops, the communication skills, and that constant drive to learn. Because this industry, it never sits still.
It's about being a creative problem solver, a visual storyteller, and, yeah, a bit of a tech whiz, all rolled into one. So next time you're watching an animated film, a scene grabs you, think about that animation layout artist behind the scenes, making those choices that shape how you experience it all. That's their power. Shaping those stories, shot by shot, light by light. And for anyone listening who's ready to take on that challenge, we say go for it. The world of animation needs your unique voice, your vision, your passion. So keep learning, keep creating, and who knows, maybe we'll be talking about your work on this show someday.